David Morgan with you at the Silver and Gold Summit in San Francisco, California, 2017. Michael, you are with SilverCrest. It's kind of a new story now because of the purchase with First Majestic some time ago with the what I'll call original SilverCrest.
Right.
So why don't you bring us up to date from that point until where this company is at the current stand?
Sure, be great. Thanks for having me on again, David. It's a pleasure talking to you again and to your subscribers. Yeah, you're right. We had a very good or very successful transaction completed with First Majestic in 2015, and First Majestic acquired the Santa Elena mine, which we put into production within 4 years from discovery to production. It was 4 years, and they also took $30 million of the cash that then in the bank account. We came out of it as SilverCrest Metals, so we call it SilverCrest 2.0. And we would like to do it again, meaning taking our main asset, the Las Chispas project, also into production. And we're looking at fast-tracking that again. We have, Eric Fear. He's the president and CEO of SilverCrest Metals. He's a mining engineer and a geologist, so he can not only discover ounces, but he also has the knowledge and expertise to put them into production, right? In his lifetime, he has put about 4 mines into production, including Santa Elena. So we have, since the inception of SilverCrest Metals, basically drilled up to about 35,000 meters to date. By the end of the year, we'll be at 40,000 meters, phase 1 and phase 2. And we're the first company to drill test Las Chispas. And that is important because Las Chispas is an old historic mining district. They have mined the bulk of the production, the historic production came between 1880 and 1930. They produced 100 million ounces of silver and 200,000 ounces of gold at an average historic production grade of 1,700 grams per ton silver and 15 grams per ton gold. Now, we believe that their cutoff grade was a kilo, and everything below a kilo, they're basically left behind on waste dumps or as backfill material. And through drilling, we have found continuity of all these high grades that they're left behind. To give you an example, we have about 69 drill intercepts that are greater than 600 grams per ton.
So 600 grams, so we're looking at what, 20 ounces a ton, something like that.
Yeah. Right. Silver equivalent, and when I talk about silver equivalent, it's gold and silver. Yeah. So there's no base metals, and we're using a ratio of 75:1. Yeah. Right. Wow. So we had, like I said, there's a lot of drilling that has been done. Las Chispas comes with 11.5 kilometers of underground workings, so that's infrastructure already there. If you were to put that into, this infrastructure into a project today, you're looking at $15 million that we basically saved. And since 2016, we have gone in and we have rehabilitated the underground workings. We have gained access and reopened to about 10 kilometers now. And we found out that the mineralization, and to get a much better idea of the geology, it's very accurate. So with all the drilling and with all the channel sampling that we have taken and concluded, we have found out that the old long section that we were able to get our hands on is pretty much accurate. So overall, what we see is that geology, geochemistry, and mineralization is very similar to Santa Elena. And our objective right now is to drill until the end of the year. To give you an idea, we had 6 drill rigs going at the peak of our drilling campaign. We have scaled it down to about 2 or 1 drill rigs now. And we're going into Christmas at a slower rate. But the plan is to come out with our first resource estimate. And the plan for that is in before PDAC, right? Okay. The largest mining conference, as you know, in Toronto.
In March, yep.
So that will be the first pass. Most likely all will be inferred. But we're looking at a initial resource of about 40 to 50 million ounces, silver equivalent ounces, and an average grade of 400 to 500 grams per ton silver equivalent, undiluted. So, right, even if you add your dilution, you still have a fairly good grade, right?
Yes, you do.
So that's where we're at right now. So, good drilling success. We have, as I was saying, the first company that drill tested Las Chispas. There are 19 epithermal veins that exist on it. We tested only 8 so far. And of the 8 that we have tested, 4 will be in the resource.
Right.
So a lot of upside coming in the next year to 2 years.
Let's talk share structure and ownership. Yeah. So what's the share structure like?
Right now we are at 51 million shares outstanding, 61 million shares fully diluted. We're trading at a $60 million market cap today. Management has good skin in the game, very important. So when we completed the transaction with First Majestic, we did a financing pretty much right after to get insiders situated and family, friends, but also some of the institutions that supported us when we were the old SilverCrest came into that as well. So we have done 2 financings since then, one at 15 cents, one at $2.20. And management controls about 8% right now, and we have about a 23% institutional holdings.
Can you name some of the institutions?
Yes, glad to. Donald Smith and Company out of New York is our largest shareholder.
Okay.
And then you have AGF and Sprott out of Toronto. And we have a number of funds that came in that hold smaller positions. We have a couple more out of New York and then out of Toronto, mostly where they're from.
Okay, very good. So what's the burn rate and the treasury look like?
Treasury right now is about $2.1 million, Canadian dollars that is. And as I was mentioning earlier, we're kind of scaling down and slowing down with our drill program. At the peak, our burn rate was $700,000. Now I'm looking at a burn rate of about $200,000 to $300,000.
Exit strategy, you think the same of what happened in the last SilverCrest?
That is the goal.
Yes, that's the goal.
That is the goal. So if we were taking the same time period and apply it to the new SilverCrest, we discovered Las Chispas with our, with a very phenomenal hole in 2016. And if you do all these things right, all your studies right, from the PEA to the environmental studies to the pre-feasibility studies, you're looking at a potential maybe production date in 2020, right? So.
Yeah. And that's fascinating because I've been in this industry for a while. And why were you able to go from start to finish, in other words, to production in 4 years? I mean, most companies take a lot longer than that.
Yeah, that's a very good question. I think there's 2 components to that. A is Mexico. You can get permits fairly quick, fairly easy. To give you an idea, to get the Santa Elena mine into production, it took us 9 months only to receive the production permit, right? And that's unheard of. If you were to do that in Nevada or somewhere else in the US or even in Canada, it can take a long time. And I think that's where we were able to fast track that due to the permitting issues or not issues, but beneficial permitting policies in Canada. And secondly is boots on the ground. Like Eric Fier, who is, and again, he's a mining engineer, and he was constantly every month at site making those key decisions, those executive decisions. There was no time wasting, so he was always there, hands-on, boots on the ground, using his experience to get into production.
And from my experience, I'm not putting myself in the same class as Eric, but I think there's also congealing or a recognition by the community that this is something we want, we need, we're on board with you. There wasn't any of that problem that there are in some other areas.
That's
right.
right.
Comment on that?
A very good point. No, it's a very good point. The community, we have done a lot of community building, relationship building is very important. When you go to Mexico, you also have to bring a lot of patience. And Eric is a rancher from Montana, so he understands maybe the mentality, because most of them are ranchers. So he's always been saying, he's been sitting on porches drinking tea with these guys and talking anything from herding, ranching to mining, So he would build a lot of relationships even on government levels, right? And we have been very built good relationships in the community for the last 10 years. And that certainly helps, with the ejidos, with the ranchers and so on. And that helps when you want to go forward and, develop
Absolutely.
projects.
Well, if you get a ejido not on your side, you've got a longer process.
You got an issue.
You got an issue.
Certainly,
Yeah.
certainly. We employ a lot of the communities. Some of the ejidos, some people that live in the communities. We have a very good infrastructure. It's about a 45-minute drive from a house that we currently rent, that we were already renting at SilverCrest Mines. We kept it, and if you were just leaving the door from our house up to the portal, is a 45-minute drive.
Okay, great.
It's very good infrastructure. It's mostly all paved highway to get there.
Well, Mark, I think we've covered everything. It looks like this is another great story for silver investors. Is there anything we haven't discussed that we need to know?
This is it. You should expect 2 more news releases before the year end. So when I was saying, we drew the first company to drill test Las Chispas, look at more expansion drill results from the Babicanora vein and Las Chispas underground drilling before year end, and then look for the initial resource estimate to be released in Q1 of next year.
Very good.
Excellent.
See you at PDAC.
Will do.
Okay.
Thank you, David.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hello, I'm David Morgan, publisher of the Morgan Report, and as some of you may already know, the Morgan Report is about money, metals, and mining. In fact, we cover all resources, from rare earth elements to precious metals. I've been publishing on the internet for about 20 years. My primary passion is to help people build and preserve their wealth. I love to make people millionaires. I've helped thousands of people via our research in the Morgan Report, which has thousands of paid members and 10 times that amount on our free weekly updates. Here's what you'll receive from our free newsletter: to-the-point webinars, weekly analysis of the financial markets, interviews and our conference schedule, special reports such as riches and resources, and various metals price forecasts. Our paid service client base is primarily small to medium-sized business owners, professionals in the industry, or the seasoned investor who understands markets and the value of precious metals. My area of expertise includes equity analysis throughout the resource sector, energy metals, base metals. We cover startups to billion-dollar corporations. We focus on a special sector that makes money regardless of price oscillations, and the importance of precious metals due to the ongoing currency devaluations. Our team of 3 analysts and support staff can help you build and protect your wealth. It's important for you to know what other people have said. We're passionate about what we do. High integrity and trust. Tell the truth and own it. If we're wrong, we admit it. Take a long-term outlook with major assets, and bet a little to win a lot with speculative situations. If you choose to become a client, you will gain financial insights very few, even professionals, recognize. You'll understand the importance of honesty in our financial system. You'll understand how the money system influences almost everything in your life. You'll be prepared for the ongoing currency crisis. And finally, I've chosen to make my life's mission greater than the individual, which means my mission statement is to teach and empower people to understand the benefits of an honest monetary and financial system. It's been a great journey so far, and the best gains in this sector lie ahead over the next 3 to 5 years. I'm fortunate to have earned the status of being a leading authority in my field in helping others protect their wealth. You can email me at support@themorganreport.com or call my office at 480-325-0230.